Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video. Today's a bit different. We are in the Cotswold for a session on a water sport lake. We know little about this lake, the stock, the size and how many fish there are actually in this lake. This lake, to our knowledge, has never been stocked. I have fished here many times now, doing multiple overnight sessions with very little success apart from a £7 tench. So Friday 6th of September, me and one of my best mates came down here straight after work, with everyone who wanted to use the lake for water sports coming down the morning after due to the heavy weather we were expecting. That was a plus side for us because it allowed us to get our H blocks out and find our spots and bait up without worrying about a boat coming round and catching our lines. When we arrived, it was really dark, about 8 o'clock. For the first time, we've actually seen this lake be really murky and have a thick layer of algae covering the top of it. This made it incredibly tricky to find our spots that we wanted to fish and check if they were clear or not. So we ended up having to use the kayak oars to push down and fill the bottom to see if it was gravelly or not. Our swim, we had one of the islands to the left of us. We chose on the first night to both fish the one rod to the island and my right hand rod being in open water out in front of me. At 1 o'clock my alarm went off with 2 beeps, but it was only Bill who had managed to pull in a tench from the island spot. It was a decent sized tench but not what we were after. I woke up the next morning and brought both my rods in. Oh, so we have just woken up. The time is 7:30. I had nothing in the night, but Bill next to me, he had a tinker off his island spot. So at least there's a fish there. But I had definitely a very quiet night. But gonna wait for the fog to go and then get out and have a look for some clear spots, bait some up. Gonna go out with 3 rods tonight, I reckon. So yeah, see you in a bit. We brought them in so we could go out pike fishing and hopefully with the light check our spots to see if they were clear or not. With pike fishing failing miserably due to the high amounts of weed, we couldn't actually pull our lures through. And still not being able to see our spots, it was a massive failure. But that didn't stop us. We were out there for hours feeling with the oars, trying to find big spots, clear spots, which we ended up finding. With both my H blocks out in the middle, open water, I was confident going into the night. We pre-baited the spots and waited until 7 o'clock that night where we decided to put them out. Both me and Bill put our rods out on our spots. Him fishing 2 to the island and 1 out in open water, and me just putting 2 out in open water. I only put 2 rods out just because the sheer amount of line that was going out of our swim, I didn't want to just overcram the swim with rods. Both my rods were on split D rigs. The left hand one being on a pineapple and banana wafter, and my right hand one being on a match the hatch Voyage 15mm boilie, the exact same of what I was putting in the water. But that boilie, I left it in the water to let it ooze all the colouring out and go the same colour as what the bait I had been putting in the water as. And after that, it was a waiting game. But it didn't take long. At 11 o'clock, my right hand rod ripped off. Before I had even had a chance to grab my waders or my camera, I was in the water playing the fish. But the fish had gone straight into a weed bed. Kept the pressure on, walking backwards slowly until the fish freed itself and came to the surface of the water above the weed bed that he'd ran into. And I could see what fish it was. And it was massive, absolutely smashing my PB. And that made me even more nervous, the fact that I could see the fish. But I luckily managed to land the fish with the water going up to my knees, in my joggers, in my night clothes, but I didn't care. I was absolutely over the moon with the massive mirror that I had just caught from this wild lake. Surrounded by my friends and family, I got photos and videos. Some good quality, some bad quality, but I will patch them all in the video for you so you can see what an absolute beauty that I managed to pull out.
Ready?
Look at the size of that boy.
The saddle on it.
Oh yeah.
Sit that up there at least. That'll be right then. Beauty.
Oh my god.
The fish weighed in at 34.8 pounds. Absolutely smashing my last fish, which was 27 pounds. Having spent so many sessions on this lake, not having a single fish apart from that tench, I was really starting to question, was I doing it right? I've tried every single bait, naturals, pellets, everything, but never just a boilie approach, and when I've done that, it has worked. It was a massive relief. My last couple of videos have been at Durley Reservoir. I've done 108 hours on that lake and not had a single fish. So you start to question if you're any good at fishing again, don't you? Because it's like, oh, I've spent that long and not had a single fish. But to come here and to have a fish the second night, I was absolutely buzzing. And then it was time to let her go back into the wild. But I left my rod out of the water and went to bed because I didn't think I was going to top that at all, and I couldn't sleep. The amount of adrenaline that was pumping through me, the buzz that I had after catching my first 30 ever, and to be on a lake like this, I was over the moon. Sorry if you can hear the boat, its rods are out now. And yeah, the boating starts. But that morning, I woke up to an absolute ripper again. It was different this time though. The fish was really badly stuck in weeds.
You got a £10 tension there. I'm gonna have to go out.
So we grabbed the kayak and went out in the boat to battle it from above. But fighting a fish in a single kayak was not easy. As I got over the top of the fish, I felt it come up. As it's come up, my line has caught on something and snapped. Because I was fishing my main line straight the way through, because I just thought it was weeds. I got a strong line on there, and every time the fish gets weeded up, I'm out in the boat. I was absolutely devastated. There was no feeling like losing a fish, especially like losing a fish is bad enough, but when you don't know what fish it is, the size of it, what is like, it's a wild fish. It could be a never caught fish before, and your line's just snapped, and you're absolutely devastated, thinking, oh, I could have a double 30 session. It could have been unbelievable, and you just can't. I can't quite put into words how I was feeling after that, but that didn't stop me. I put the rod back out on the spot that had produced my first bite. 2 hours later, I was in again. But this time I wasn't at my rods. I was walking around here with my mate watching them to film this for you. And I've heard a shout, "Owen, you're on!" I've gone sprinting round, and as I've come round the corner, I've just seen my rod from booping over to that. it's happened again. Knots, I know, are fine. I test them before they go in the water. I pull them so hard, I know it's not my knots. So, what could it be? Now, funnily, my little sister was messing around within the shallow bit by the jetty where they launched the boat, and she found a mussel shell, I kid you not, about that big, sharp. So this lake is full of mussels and other sharp stones, which it must have been that. So now I've got a session in October next month where we're back again, and this time I'm going to be fishing some really strong snag leaders. I've never fished with snag leaders before, I've never had to, I've never fished anywhere like this. But it's a learning curve. I was saying to Bill, I'm glad I lost those two in a way, because it's made me learn. It's made me realise that it's not plain sailing. You need to have these, you need to feel like this to make yourself better as an angler. Yeah, I just need to up my tackle game to be able to cope with this place after that 34 pounder. And I will. So that is what it's like in the day. There we go, swim's all tidy, as we left it, as we found it even. So, driving away from the swim. What an unreal session we've had. Sad that it's over, we're back out water skiing now. Time for the drive home. So, that is it for this little video. I hope you've enjoyed. Just a little session on this amazing lake. I hope you've all enjoyed this video. There will be another session on here very soon when I come here next month. And I hope you've all enjoyed how I've caught my new PB, a 34 pound, 8 ounce beauty. I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.